Welcome to Kermode Uncut. A couple of days ago, I was cleaning out one of the rooms in the house, and I came across this. This is a paperback copy of Walter Tevis's novel of The Man Who Fell to Earth. Actually, it's not my original copy. I originally had a copy with, remember the film poster? This is actually a version that was given away, I think, with a Sight and Sound magazine or something during a science fiction season. Anyway, hadn't seen it for ages, and I started reading, as you can see, it's not a very long novel, but I started reading it, and I was immediately won over by it. I've read it before. But I just thought it was a terrific read, and one of the things I enjoyed about it was reading it having been so fond of the film, because there are key things that are different in the character of Thomas Newton. His hair's different, he's got things that aren't quite David Bowie, and I found it really fascinating. I started thinking about the fact that people always talk about, you know, films often being inferior versions of the book, or you should read the book, it's better. But there were so many books that I was led to as a child through seeing the films. I think I saw the film of The Great Gatsby before I ever read the novel, which, as you may know, is my favourite novel ever written. I remember very clearly as a kid going to see The Towering Inferno, which is a very important film for me, and discovering that it was based on not one but two novels. One of them you could buy, it was called The Tower, but the other one was called The Glass Inferno, which was very hard to get hold of. I had to go to the local library and get The Glass Inferno sent through on interlibrary loan. I remember seeing The Day of the Jackal and then reading the Frederick Forsyth novel. I remember wading my way through Papillon, which was a real doorstopper of a book, and then actually getting about a third of the way through Banco and discovering it to be not quite as rewarding. See, the thing for me is, when I was a kid, going to see a film was often a way to be led into literature. If you knew that there was a book on which the film was based, you wanted to read it. And then, of course, there was the whole other weird area of novelizations. I remember seeing The Omen and reading the novelization of David Seltzer's screenplay. It's very weird that people often think that somehow, you know, films damage books and they're not as good as books and they're not as rich. But for somebody of my age, there was a real pleasure in seeing a film and then reading a book, and it being like a soundtrack album, it being a companion to the experience of cinema. I love Nick Rogue's film of The Man Who Fell to Earth, and I was really, really impressed by the recent documentary about him on BBC Two. I'm really enjoying reading Walter Tevis's novel again.